Next, we're going to move on to Sylar and show off some strengths and weaknesses of his, and then we'll end by showing some of my matches against Diamond players just for fun, and against Joey FGC here, who is currently the #1 Banana in the world, who I happened to encounter in ranked, and it was a bad time. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this match against me, actually. See if I recognize this one. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Can you guys believe I'm giving advice? Yep. Damn, I did that? I did that? I'm not terrible. I'm okay. But, as we're about to see, Sylar's better. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm asking for trouble. Oh. Alright. We gotta give it up. That was a good comeback on Sylar's part. I got mollywopped. I'm jamming now. Ooh. Ooh, boy. Some questionable choices made there, to say the least. Let's go ahead and run it back and talk about where things fell apart. And also where Sylar made a lot of good choices as well. And where I made bad ones. So right off the bat, this Tatsu opening, kind of a weird choice on my part. Tatsu is one of those moves that if it's blocked, it leaves you somewhat vulnerable, so you can space it out and maybe be a little okay. But in general, it's not typically a good idea to just throw Tatsu out. So that is a thing about Ryu that I did not know. That will miss if someone's crouching, so this leaves me wide open. And this is a good throw on Sylar's part because it puts me closer to the corner. So now I'm in trouble. And we're fishing for something, taking a sweep. Finally get the throw, now it's time to start the pressure. So this is a pretty common technique that I like to do is if you tap your drive parry button, so if you watch my inputs here, you can see that I hit the heavy punch and then I tap the parry. So if you hit your parry button while you're in the middle of any cancelable normal, like for use heavy punch here, you'll immediately get the drive rush if it connects, and if it doesn't connect, it doesn't come out. Unless, of course, you do it a little... There's some windows of time where you can do it where it'll come out anyway. But if they block, I'm going to rush forward and I'll go for a grab. If I get the hit, I go into a combo, and that's what we see here. Now, I don't know any good combos with Ryu yet, right? So all we get is another heavy punch into a Shoryuken, I think. Yeah. But, you know, it's not a bad return for that drive gauge. This is the part, though, where I should be cooling off on the drive gauge now, right? Because we don't want to spend too much of it. And instead, what do? I just burn a bunch of it right here. So I get the hit, and I'm thinking like Ken, right? Because we saw in the previous match, when Ken gets the roundhouse kick, he sends them flying into that state where you can run forward, get damage. I try to do that here, but he jumps out of it because it wasn't a counter hit and it wasn't a unique like juggle state. So he gets to bounce out, and now I'm kicking at nothing. Now I am plus here though. I'm +6, so I could actually do something after this and be relatively safe unless they do a reversal. I do a Shoryuken, a light one, which whiffs. But we get the hit there. This is actually a decent thing to talk about. So Kimberly has this jump where if she blocks, she can kind of jump over you. If it hits, she can get a combo. But the thing about it is, well, it's not safe. For one, there's this gap, of course, where you can damage it. And that's kind of a problem with Kimberly in a lot of places. She has a lot of gaps in her pressure where you can get a hit in. So we get that there, buy ourselves out of the doghouse. This is a good thing to talk about here. So even though Sylar's going to win this one, it is typically not a great idea to drive impact when you're this close, for exactly the reason that happens here. Is it's very easy to punish with a grab, but also if I try to hit somebody with lights on their wake up, it gives me a little bit of window of time to recognize the drive impacts coming my way as well. So we get the throw here, and we get the this light confirm here. So we go light on the, it looks like Sylar went for the Tatsu, which unfortunately the meterless, even if you get the metered Tatsu, this is the thing that kind of sucks about Kimberly is her Tatsu, even though it's a really fast startup, it's technically not invincible on startup. It's not it's not a reversal, just so to say, it's not a proper DP. And so I get this lucky hit here into the punch, into the level 1 to try to close out the round, but it's not quite enough. Now we get the OD Tatsu there, which is good, but then I burn it all to get the win. Now that was a good time to go into burnout. You didn't win the round. We'll talk about times when it's bad. Not sure what hits first there. Let's see. So first punch leaves them at +13, second one leaves me at +1. So I could have actually done a light punch here and maybe caught something, but that's still not technically a huge amount of advantage. But we hit the medium kick anyway. So I do want to say briefly here, I have been jumping a lot, and Sylar recognizes that and is doing a really good job at air-to-airing me out, right? Get the fuck back over there. I don't want to play that game. But we get our typical our Ryu combo. Here's the thing about all of this. So we got some decent damage off of this one, but now I'm at 3 bars on drive gauge. We immediately go into another one, and we proceed to burn more to get this. And I don't even get the follow-up here, because this does put her in the juggle state that we saw with Ken earlier. I could get something more here. I try to go for the Tatsu, fuck up the input, and just do a light kick. She hits the ground. That's pretty good. But now we're in burnout, and Kimberly has 1 bar, and it's going to be 1 bar enough to cinch the round, isn't it? So we get hit by the Tatsu. We get hit by the slide. Don't know what was up with that Shoryuken. Getting hit in the legs. Getting drive impacted. So right here, I feel like maybe I should have been ready for this one, right? Because here I am in the corner. 1 more drive impact is going to put me in a dizzy state. Jumping probably would have been the right option here. But instead we're going to eat this, get dizzied, and it's time to eat the level 3 and die, baby. So this was a really, really good comeback from Sylar. One of the things I want to point out before this ends is look at how good the drive gauge management is here, right? So we burned some to get this reversal to beat the meaty, which meaty means, I realize I never explained this, but a meaty is like any attack that you're trying to do on someone's wake up. All right, we call it a meaty setup. It's you're trying to catch them as soon as they wake up with something. So we get that, and now we don't burn drive gauge for a while, right? We have 2 now, and now that we have 2, we start throwing in the drive impacts because we can do it without burning ourselves out. So that was really, really good drive meter management from Sylar, and really, really bad drive gauge management from me, and that was the deciding factor in this match, big time. And now I'm in a real bad way, right? Because when Kimberly lands her level 3, you see this little dancing hand down here? That means that she's buffed, right? So when Kimberly lands her level 3, she gets a buff that lasts for the rest of the round. So going into round 3, she's now in a pretty decent state, and I burned a lot of my meter, so I'm 1 meter up, but Kimberly has her buff now. This was really, really smart on Sylar's part. Like, even though it didn't work out, this is really good decision making, right? Because you see me going for the Dungeon Charge. Dungeon Charge, and what do? Teleport right into my face, right? Couple seconds earlier, even just a half a second earlier, this would have been a free hit. Would have been free punish. Yeah, not the best decision making on my part there, is it? I do want to talk about the slide. So I think the slide here was a good call because I've been getting caught in the legs a lot. So why not, right? Why not go for the slide? Fuck me up. But the slide can be a little dangerous with Kimberly because it does leave you at disadvantage. So if he gets blocked, sometimes you can eat like a light combo or even worse, all things considered. But here I think it was a good choice. It's an option. You just want to be careful not to rely on it if you're a Kimberly player out there. I think Sylar does a good job not relying on it. But it's something to be aware of is when you're doing it, you're committing. You're making a choice that could end poorly. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier. By jumping here, I go for the wake up Shoryuken, and now I'm way out here. So jumping in the corner like that can sometimes be really useful. Even though it puts you in the corner, if it happens like this, I'm going to be at such disadvantage when I land, you can do whatever. And Sylar uses it to just throw me right back in the corner. Now this was kind of lucky on my part. Right, Sylar's been trying to hit me into the corner a lot with drive impact, so I just kind of guessed that he was probably going to try to drive impact me here, and I get it. And so this was a terrible, terrible decision on my part. I think I probably should have just done some kind of meterless combo, even just heavy punch into like a normal Shoryuken. Maybe even the level 2. Level 2 would have been a bad idea because that would have given me more drive gauge back too. Yeah, whenever you land a super in this game, you actually drain some of your opponent's drive gauge and take it for yourself. So that probably would have been the right choice, but instead, what do? I do this Shoryuken drive rush, and now I'm in burnout again. Against a buffed Kimberly. And so now I'm trying to rush him down. This reeks of pathetic desperation. I saw the jump, but my old man reflexes are slow and stupid. And also, even if I had succeeded, look at the distance. Look at the distance here. What am I gonna get? Right? If it had come out when I wanted it to come out, even if I had gotten it, I would have caught with like the tail end of the level 3, not gotten the cinematic like, big cool thing. I would have just done like a tap, and it really wouldn't have gotten me much. And I've also burned my whole meter. So this was not a good decision in any part. Even if it had worked, it wouldn't have been a good decision. But it whiffs as hard as it possibly can, and now I die. But yeah, good work on Sylar's part there. Now we're going to see a match where things go a little south for Sylar. who actually is sticking to Ryu more often, but kind of alternates between Kimberly and Ryu. So we're going to see that a lot here. So let's watch this Guile match. It all begins with Ryu.
Let us begin. Hope you're ready. Round one.
Weird to see a Guile jump this much. Yeah. Nice. Good, good, good. Nice. What the hell happened there? Oh, okay. Ah, it was an ugly finish. That was a decent match, but ugly finish.
Round two. Fight.
We are getting caught in the legs a lot here. He is just wrecking those shins. Yeah, okay. We can talk about that. Nice. Weird. This is the most aggressive I've ever seen a Guile. Yeah, that was betting the farm big on that one. Alright, let's talk about this match. This is kind of... I'd say this is classic Guile shenanigans, but it's really not. This is actually really weird play from the Guile here. Like, the sense I get from this Guile is he's throwing these sonic booms, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I'm Guile, and I do throw sonic booms, but I really want to jump. I really want to jump at him. And I'll throw some sonic booms that I look like a Guile, but I don't really want to be a Guile. I want to be someone who, like, gets in your face, and that's just not where Guile's strengths are. That said, he still manages to win, so maybe I shouldn't talk too much shit, huh? So we start with the typical sort of fireball war opening, and then we get this air-to-air, which is a little weird. So already that's like kind of strange play from a Guile. Typically Guiles don't want to just jump at you. They want to control the space in front of and above them. So we get some early pressure going here. It's good, small, light confirm there. Yeah, so right here, this is kind of exactly what I was talking about earlier. You're at the range where fireballs are a little dangerous for exactly what happens here. You know, you want to be just a little bit further out so that you can get your DP out if they jump on you. But right here, you're just close enough that when he jumps on you here, he's got all the time in the world to blow you up now. So it's tough. You know, figuring out the timing on that is something that's going to take some time. You just kind of got to get a feel for where your positions are, where you can safely recover in time. This wasn't it. You're going to get blown up now. A lot of grabs, which again is not uncommon for Guile. This was really good. We haven't seen a drive impact yet, so he wasn't ready for it. Boom. We get the donkey kick. We get the Shoryuken, also really good. Yeah, so yeah, this is typically more what I would expect from Guile. But he keeps walking towards you, which again is just really weird choices for a Guile. He also, I don't think he ever once does the, oh my god, what's it called? He's got the Sonic Hurricane thing that he puts out first, the little whirlwind thing. I don't think he does it even once. Instead, he's just throwing these Sonic Booms. I think the dungeon charges are smart, because it does give Ryu the edge he needs to kind of try and compete with Guile in a Fireball War. Most characters can't do that without spending meter. So that was smart. You know, right there, it got you something it wouldn't have otherwise. Again, good drive impact. Good recognition on the drive impact. So, looking at your inputs, I think I know what happened here. You get the donkey kick, and I think your thought is, all right, we're gonna hammer out the Hadouken super and close out this round. Because I can see you trying to get it over here, but you have this like kind of back input here, so that's why it gets stuffed. So that was a bit of a bummer. Good decision making, but you do have a little more time than you think to get that Hadouken super out. In fact, I think if you had gotten it out like at the earliest possible instant, like if you get it out like right here, sometimes it actually just whiffs. It goes just under them. So it's actually good to wait a little bit when putting the input in. It might be worth kind of practicing that a little bit. But that was, I mean, the decision making is good. Spending 1 bar of super to win a round is a good choice. Yeah, that was, yeah. So we should talk about drive rushing on Guile. It is a thing that you can do. That just wasn't the best moment for it. There are actually 2 things that you can do with Guile. One of which I don't see you use here, which we'll talk about. I just gotta wait for the right opportunity here. A lot of leg hits here. Not that one. Right here. Okay. So I haven't talked about this on the previous ones because you got a medium kick here also, somewhere. Right here. So you got a medium kick here, but this is kind of just you guys like fishing at each other. So I don't really expect you to be ready with like a combo or anything here. This is a cancelable button for Ryu, right? So right here, you got 2 hits, so I think you have a little bit more time to recognize it. You can go into the donkey kick here. I don't know if you can do the EX donkey kick. We'll see in a demonstration that is playing right now. But you could get a regular donkey kick here, or you can get a Tatsu, or even a Shoryuken, right? There's a number of things that you can do after this to get a little bit more damage. And I mentioned it because I don't think you know that, only because I'm looking at your inputs, and it looks like you're just kind of doing the medium kick, which is good. You know, the medium kick is good. Obviously, you're getting decent damage out of it. But the fact that you're not trying to do something else makes me think that maybe you don't know that this is a cancelable button. Alright, so now we're in a proper Fireball War. And because you Denjin charged, you can beat the Fireball, which is good. So yeah, again, right there, this is another instance where you had 2 hits. So you had time to kind of be ready to do something after this. In this case, because of the distance, the Tatsu or the Donkey Kick would probably be better. I think that some Shoryukens would probably miss here. Maybe the medium Shoryuken will hit? I don't know. Not a Ryu main, so I'm not sure. But this looks possible. We'll test it. I'm testing it right now. I say to my future self. This was good. He's been jumping on you a lot. So right here, you kind of recognize that, and you're ready for him right here. Get the DP. Classic Ryu. This is a good drive impact. Push him to the corner. Fuck him up. Yeah, so right here, there's another situation where I feel like you got the hits and then you weren't quite sure what to do afterwards. So right there, instead of going for the medium kick afterwards, which isn't the worst option, you could have done like a light Tatsu, I think would connect. I a light Shoryuken might have connected at that range. There were some better options to end that string with than the low medium kick. This was smart though, because you know you recognize after this hit that he's approaching you, right? He's walking forward, so you give him the old wake up Shoryuken. I gotta watch that one again. Did you recover in time? Yeah, you did, because this wasn't a punish counter. So yeah, I mean, that's a situation where you were kind of screwed there no matter what. It looks like you were going for a parry? Is that what that is? Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Well, maybe it's for the best that he grabbed you before you got in your parry animation, because that would have done more damage. Oh, yeah. This was rough. I respect the all-in, fuck it, YOLO, let's go. Didn't work out here, though. Rude from Guile. Okay, something to note here. When it comes to Guile, some of the best things you could have done to kind of improve your odds there is Drive Rush was an option, and currently you are seeing on the screen the kind of Drive Rush approaches that I see a lot of Ryus do. But another option, which I think you could have done, is you could have walked close enough to him to make the Drive Impact a threat, and you can actually Drive Impact Guile through Sonic Boom. And that is a guaranteed punish if you can get close enough to kind of put him at risk of that. And I think at your level around Silver, that I think is a good option. Because most Guiles are used to being able to throw their Sonic Booms for free. And there are a couple of times where you block a Sonic Boom when you're close enough to get that Drive Impact counter. So I think maybe that would be a good technique to focus on so that you don't have to rely on jumping on him so much. Because this Guile wasn't very good at dealing with your jump approaches, which is kind of good for you, right? So you were able to jump in on him a lot. But later on, you're going to meet Guiles who are much better at being ready on the flash kick. And so then you're going to need some other options. And that Drive Impact punish is a pretty good one.